We're going to move now to Capitol Hill, where a vote on the next Speaker of the House seems unlikely to be decided on the first ballot, something that hasn't happened in 100 years. In what could be a premature move, incoming Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy continued to move his belongings into the Speaker's office yesterday in advance of today's vote. And who's that right there? As you can see in the background of this video, our next guest literally had a front row seat to this unfolding drama. Co-founder of Punchbowl News, Jake Sherman, joins us now. He's an MSNBC political contributor. So he's really moving all his things in.
Yeah, he doesn't have any other office space. He's had to move out of his previous office. So, I mean, he could set up shop in the local Starbucks, but I think that's probably not a great option. Here's what I would say. I actually am not convinced he becomes the next speaker, to be honest with you. I think that the stars are lining up against him at this point. He's got, 5 to a dozen or so, if not more, Republicans against him. Joe will remember that Newt Gingrich stepped out of the race when it was clear he couldn't become speaker. That's not going to happen this time. McCarthy is going to the floor to try to have it out, to have a fight with these Republicans who he's supported over the years, has spent more than $70 million to elect many of these folks. And he wants to have this fight with the right, with the conservatives, the Freedom Caucus, that he believes no other speaker, no other majority leader, Republican leader has had in the last decade.
So, Jake, what's the backup plan for those that are never Kevin's, for those who are saying they're not going to support Kevin? What's their backup plan?
You're the backup plan, Joe. No, I'm kidding. Steve Scalise is probably the next backup option, but moderates are not good with Scalise at the moment. I talked to Don Bacon, one of the leading moderates, last night, who said he's going to run somebody against Steve Scalise if Steve Scalise is the option. Now, he's saying that now. People make decisions very quickly and change decisions very quickly on Capitol Hill. But I could honestly see, and there's a difference of opinion here on Capitol Hill about this, I could honestly see that this will go throughout the day. It could go days. This institution could be paralyzed for the next couple days as they figure this out. I mean, McCarthy has given up the store, has given every concession that the right wants within reason, and they're still not for him. They just don't like Kevin McCarthy. That's the bottom line, and they're going to have to rally around somebody because they can't do this twice. They're not going to. The conference is not going to put up with this twice.
Yeah. So, what about Tom Cole? He seems to be somebody that might have a foot in both worlds, especially since he voted against certifying the election.
That's a really good option. People like Tom Cole and Frank Lucas, both of Oklahoma, some of the more serious, older, more respected conservative members of the conference. That could be an interesting fallback option for Republicans. I mean, I think it'll be difficult to run him against Steve Scalise. I think Steve Scalise has a lot more support. But listen, in a 222-seat majority, you basically need every single Republican to be on board with your choice for speaker, all but 4 or 5. So whoever they come around to needs to satisfy all camps. And sitting here today, I don't know who that person is. It's not going to be Jim Jordan. Moderates are not going to elect Jim Jordan as Speaker of the House. So it's going to have to be somebody that is palatable to moderates, palatable to conservatives. Is that Steve Scalise? Is it someone like a Patrick McHenry of North Carolina? Is it a Frank Lucas or Tom Cole of Oklahoma? All of these are possibilities. But just to put this in context, remember, this hasn't happened in 110 years, a second ballot for Speaker of the House. And if you're a Democrat this morning, a House Democrat this morning, aside from being in the majority, this is about the best way you could hope to start the 118th Congress.
So, Jake, this kind of gives us a window into what the next 2 years are going to look like. If Republicans can't even agree on who should be the Speaker of the House, what does it mean for, funding the government or avoiding a default on the government's credit, or all the hearings that they want to have and the people they want to drag up in front of the Congress? What is this going to look like for 2 years?
It's going to be an absolute mess, worse than we've seen in the last 15 years. There's no question about that. And you could see a scenario in which after a government funding fight, that the conservatives move to remove the Speaker of the House. It's just, we are in a period of just outright war in the House Republican Conference and I thought 2010, 2012, 2014 were bad. Those years pale in comparison to what we're seeing right now.
All right, I know you got to run. There's a big GOP meeting in 11 minutes. We'll let you hustle over there. Co-founder of Punchbowl News, Jake Sherman. Thanks for stopping through, Jake. Appreciate it.